Hi guys, it's Dave at All Important Reviews, and I've got with me today an absolute little gem. It's the Pagani design PD-1651. It's like a Yachtmaster / Submariner homage watch. Beautiful relief bezel, all stainless steel with the bracelet. I'll talk more about the bracelet later because the bracelet is fabulous. It really is. For what you pay for this watch, it is a brilliant bracelet. I got this watch on the recommendation of another YouTuber called I Like Watches. I'll put a link down to his channel below. But I'm really glad I bought it, and I'm probably going to buy a lot more of these Pagani ones because I'm really impressed with the overall quality and the design. Start with the movement. The movement is the Seiko NH35 movement. It's considered to be a workhorse, but I will be honest with you, any of these cheap watches that you buy, cheap automatic watches, none of them, from my experience, will have, any type of accuracy with their timekeeping. They're all going to be fairly inaccurate, losing, minus 20 plus 40 seconds per day is the stated accuracy. So if you're like me and you buy these watches to wear kind of at the weekend and they're not something where you actually use to get completely reliable time on, then that's not, the movement is probably the last thing that I care about. Obviously, if I was spending thousands of pounds on a watch like a Rolex and they've only 2 seconds, plus or minus a day, then that would be different. But this watch is about 60 odd pounds. And so you're never going to get perfect accuracy with current automatic technology at these price ranges. But nevertheless, it does have the Seiko NH35. The case is an all stainless steel case with obviously the transparent window at the back. Again, it's got some nice etched lettering there at the back. The case again. It's got the polished sides. I've scratched it already, unfortunately. I have scratched it. I've had it for about 3 weeks now and I've been wearing it every single day. So ignore that, I've scratched that by accident. It's got the polished sides. With a screw down crown. Crown feels very good. For the price, for what I paid for it. The bezel is this relief bezel, similar to what you get on a Yachtmaster. I think they've done a really good job of it. If you zoom in, I don't know if you can see there, there's only a few very minor blemishes. Some of them are just dust and crumbs and stuff. I have inspected that and it's only got some very minor blemishes. So I'm very happy with that bezel. I think it looks really good. The dial has this kind of sunburst effect with a blue coming through. I have to say, from the pictures, the blue looks so much more significant, but the blue is only it's only marginal. It's not significantly coming through. Some of you might like that, some of you might not like that. I do actually quite like it. I think it does go well together. I can't wait to buy actually now. The GMT versions, which I think use this case, are very similar. Which I think look, like the Pepsi or the Coke versions, because I think they look awesome. And I might even get one on the Jubilee style bracelet. This model has, stick with the dial again. So you've got your standard letterings there. They call it the Pagani Dial Explorer. It's water resistant, is stated at 10 bar 100 meters. Again, would you rely on that? Maybe you would, maybe you wouldn't. The YouTuber who I'm going to link below that, he actually does some kind of pressure testing. And I think the Paganis have, so far in his limited test setup, have done actually really well. So I think I would go swimming with this really. It's got the Cyclops. I'm not having any issues with mine. I think it adds to the character of the watch, and I do actually like the Cyclops. I'm a lazy person. I never bother putting the correct date on these automatics. Sorry, some people care about that. I don't. I just leave that for me Casios with me, you know, synchronized atomic time. I'm really happy with the dial. I think it looks great. I'll try and show you some lume later. The lume, from what I could see, was very decent. It's got like a lightish blue colour that comes through on the markers. The markers are lumed, and as are the hands. Get a close up there so you can have a good look. Talking about the bracelet, I have to say, of this watch, the bracelet is one of the standout pieces. They've done an absolutely fantastic job in recreating a very similar Rolex Oyster bracelet. It tapers. So I've put that's ridiculous that how many scratches I've put in that. All bracelet watches will scratch fairly fast. That is just an unfortunate fact. And if you're like me and you use them, you know, all the time, you are unfortunately going to get scratches in them. And it's not cheap to polish them out. You can get them polished out, but it's not cheap what they charge. The clasp has very nice clicking sound. It's a deployment clasp with a safety catch. All nicely machined. Now, it has this like a diver's extension, which I will never use because it extends it too much. But it's there if you do want it. The one downside to this bracelet, I'll be honest, is that the mechanism for micro adjusting. I don't know if you can see that there, but there are some notches, some holes in the clasp, and you've got to get. I don't know if I can show you, but it's a met. You've got to take the. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, there. You've got to get your tool in there, squeeze that down, and then adjust it across into one of those holes. But it's very messy, and it could do with a glide lock style adjustment, which you get on a real, obviously, Rolex Submariner or Deep Sea Dweller. So the bracelet though overall is absolutely superb. It is I'll just put it on my hand. The 40mm case size is absolutely perfect. It fits like a glove. Really, really comfy bracelet. Absolutely no, no criticisms really. The only small issue on mine, it's a blemish, is that this second to end link is not completely flat. It's not completely flush. So I think that's a manufacturing defect in my particular unit. But I'm not really bothered about that, to be fair. But the bracelet is otherwise fantastic. Fits really comfy. I forget it's there sometimes. It is so nice. And they've done such a really good job of, making it so similar to the real Oyster bracelet. It's solid links, solid end links. Feels very substantial, yet not too heavy. Overall, because of its 40mm size, they've done a really good job in keeping it in proportion and not going over the top. I've just picked up their Submariner homage, the I can't remember the 1639, but that is 43 millimeters. And it overall, although I am fairly happy with it, I'm actually going to swap the bracelet out to something like a Jubilee style bracelet or a 5-link or whatever, because on that particular watch the bracelet is not as comfortable overall. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because of the weight of the watch or whatever, but this one is fantastic. So overall, I'm going to say that I'm really happy with this, and I'm going to be buying more of the 40mm Paganis because I'm so happy with this one. Some people might criticise that it's got the polished centre links and the brushed outers, but on this particular model, I like it. I think it adds to the detail and character of the watch. So yeah, so overall, really happy with it. I think it's a really, I mean, you can pay hundreds of pounds, you know, for a fashion watch, or hundreds of pounds more for, you know, a dive watch from other brands, and they will not have a bracelet that is anywhere near as good as this. You've got your screw pins, everything's machined. You know, I've paid for watches in my time that have been over 500 quid, and they've not come with a bracelet anywhere near as good as that. And this only cost me, I think it was less than 70 quid with the discounts and stuff that I got on it. So all in all, a really good value watch. I wouldn't trust the you know, stated water resistance, but if you're only doing light swimming on holiday and stuff, I think you'll be fine. Okay, thanks for watching my review.